Allah Ta'ala said, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. This ayah means you are the best nation ever brought to people, bidding the lawful and forbidding the unlawful and believing in Allah. So Allah Azza wa Jal made amongst the merits for this nation that they bid the lawful and forbid the unlawful, while in some previous nations they lacked this important matter. So one of the merits for this nation is that it is a very active nation in bidding the lawful and forbidding the unlawful. And that is why we thought it would be highly urged that every one of you would be able to answer these 50 questions. You can revise them. This book is very small. You can revise it, you can take it with you, and inshallah, these lessons will be available for you on YouTube and Facebook as well. So you can listen to them time after time if you are not sure about the meaning of certain matters in this book. And also what is special about this book is that it is accredited and stamped by Al-Azhar University in Egypt to ascertain that all these answers in this book are per the creed of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So it's very important that you take care of it. The knowledge of the religion is very vast. You keep acquiring the knowledge. Even if you were to spend 10 hours a day, you will die and you won't finish that knowledge of the religion. It's very vast. However, we focus on the most important part of the knowledge, and that is called the personal obligatory knowledge. What every accountable person is urged to acquire, is obligated to acquire. And if you forget that knowledge, you need to retake it to make sure that this knowledge is always in your heart, because you need it in your daily life. But in our course now, which is only 4 days, we'll focus about these 50 questions, inshallah, and they all pertain to belief. And inshallah, in the near future, we'll have more courses as well in other topics. The scholars of Islam divided the knowledge of the religion into 2 parts: the personal obligatory knowledge and communal obligatory knowledge. Personal meaning every accountable person must acquire. Every accountable person must acquire. It's like praying. You pray. If your brother prays, that doesn't mean you don't pray. If your father fasts Ramadan, that doesn't mean you can leave out fasting. No. Every accountable person must do this. They call it personal obligation. The other portion of the knowledge is the communal obligation, and it means if in every region there are some amongst the Muslims who are aware of that knowledge, then the rest won't be sinful. Because sometimes Muslims in certain areas and regions might have issues that they need to ask about. They need to find someone who is highly knowledgeable, who can answer them and give them the answers for their questions. So that is the communal obligation. The personal obligation, what every accountable person must acquire pertaining to belief, like the belief in Allah, His prophets and messengers, His angels, His books, the destiny of Allah Azza wa Jal, and also the Day of Judgment. Also, it includes other parts of the religion pertaining to purification, prayer, fasting, sins of the body, and the like. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. This ayah means those who know are not equal to those who don't. There is a big difference between the one who is knowledgeable and the one who is ignorant. The one who is knowledgeable is like the one who can see. And the one who doesn't have that knowledge, he's ignorant, is like a blind person. And the scholar said, the one who wants to practice the religion without knowledge will be like a blind person walking in a forest, and he wouldn't know if there is a hole that he might fall into it. Or is like the one who's collecting firewoods at night, then he would carry them on his shoulder without realizing that he's carrying with them snakes and scorpions that may harm him. But the one who is knowledgeable can see. He has that light of knowledge, the light of guidance. That's why it's very important to make sure that you have that knowledge. And the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith that seeking the obligatory knowledge is a personal obligation upon every accountable Muslim. That means males and females, and this is narrated by Al-Bayhaqi. And since, as we mentioned, that the matters of Aqidah, the creed of Muslims, is more important than learning about purification and prayer. Because the honor of the knowledge, the value of the knowledge lies in what? In the topic. If the topic is more important, then knowing about this is more important. The Aqidah deals with which topics? Knowing about the Creator, about Allah Azza wa Jal, knowing about the prophets and messengers. So that is more important than knowing about purification and prayer. It's more important than learning about purification and prayer. Because if one does not have the correct belief in his heart about the Creator, he might follow his imaginations and end up worshipping an image that he imagined in his mind, a body with limbs, with volume, with mass, with quantity, and he would worship that image. So he doesn't have the correct knowledge about the Creator. He imagined his own image and he worshipped that image. He won't be worshipping the Creator. He won't be worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He would be worshipping the image that he imagined. That's why Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal radiyallahu anhu said, whatever you imagine in your mind, Allah does not resemble it. But some who did not acquire the knowledge of the creed end up having an image in their minds and worshipping that image, and they won't be worshipping Allah. As Al-Ghazali stated, whoever worships an image that he imagined in his mind is not worshipping Allah. In fact, he is worshipping that image that he imagined. Also, Imam Ja'far As-Sadiq radiyallahu anhu said as narrated by Abul Qasim Al-Qushayriyy in his book Ar-Risalah. He said, whoever claims that Allah is in something or on something or from something has committed shirk, which is type of blasphemy. Then he elaborated by saying, had he been in something, he would have been contained. So if one were to believe that Allah is a body in the sky, he will be contained in the sky like the angels are contained in the sky. Had he been on something, he would have been carried. So if one were to believe that Allah is sitting on the throne will be carrying the Creator according to them, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, and that is false belief. And had he been from something, he would have been created.